Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I know a lot of people have done a review of this movie already this past summer. I mean, Huey Lewis has done it, uh, Doug Walker has done it. I know a lot of you here on the YT have done it, but I've yet to do it, and I'm pretty sure there's others that have yet to do it as well. But now I am going to do it because apparently the only way I, and probably some others, can do it is by finally seeing it on DVD. Now, like I said, I know a majority of you already did a review of it because of being in the theaters and you were somehow able to get bootleg versions and all that. But anyway, this is my review for what could be the last in this film series, Toy Story 3. Right there. Toy Story 3. And, overall, I have to say Toy Story 3 was a very good movie. It lived up to everything people said it was. It lived up to being the #1 animated movie of all time. It was very, it just had everything. It had everything. It had good closure to this chapter in the toys' lives, to the opening of another. I mean, it just overall I'll tell you this. I'll go on a limb. If the Academy Awards don't nominate this, not just for Best Animated Feature, but for Best Picture overall, they don't put it in the Best Picture category, not just for Animated Feature, but overall, then there's something wrong. But, like I said, it's a great conclusion so far. As far as I'm concerned, it's a great conclusion. Like I said, great closure to one chapter and the opening of another. It's tremendous. It's a tremendous, very, very good movie. I mean, there are things, the characters are well developed, probably better than they've ever been. You get some references to previous movies, sort of like it come full circle, if you will. I mean, Jessie, for example, she mentions Emily. She mentions, Emily, who we found out about in the second film. She mentioned how what's going on is sort of similar, or that it's just, what's going on is just Emily all over again, or something like that. I mean, overall, it's just a tremendous film. I mean, just one of the best I think Disney and Pixar have ever done. And like I said, it's a great closure to the entire series. I mean, again, like I said, the characters are well developed. They brought a lot of things full circle. For example, Buzz, for example, he got reverted back to his Space Ranger mindset that we all first got introduced to him about in the first one, before his eyes were opened back then, before he realized, what everybody was telling him in the first one was true, that he was a toy. So it's just a great overall movie. Come on, if you have not seen this movie yet, then where have you been? Where have you been? I mean, this is just tremendous film. I mean, I know I've used the word tremendous a lot already, but it is. And like I said, if it doesn't get 2 nominations for Best Animated Feature as well as Best Picture overall, and I don't know what people are thinking. But again, it brings great closure because to one chapter in the beginning of another, because that's real life if you think about it. I mean, Andy in that final scene, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but Andy playing with the toys one last time in the film before giving them off to a neighbor's daughter. That's like, that's passing the torch, if you will. I mean, that's passing the torch, if you will. I mean, at first you think, okay, Woody's going to go with Andy to college, right? But then at the end of the film, you realize that Woody and then even Andy come to realization that they can't, be a part of each other physically, but in their hearts, they will always be part of each other. I mean, And I think a lot of people, I gotta give Pixar credit, I gotta give Disney and Pixar credit, they really pulled us all in. It was a great emotional ride if you think about it. Because like I said, excuse me for a second. But anyways, it was just a great emotional ride. I mean, from beginning to start. I mean, get this. They start the movie out by actually having the characters in a western, if you will, kind of a mixture western kind of. I don't know. Basically, it's like from a toy's point of view. As they're being played with, that's how it starts out, and it's really, really, really cool. I mean, overall, it's just a tremendous film. I mean, it's just one of the best films I've ever seen. Yeah, it is a little emotional in certain areas, but it's a great film. Like I said, it brings great closure to the franchise or to the series, as far as I know, as far as any of us know. I mean, and like I said, the characters were so well developed. I mean, yes, it did follow the pattern that the first couple of films followed. Like, no one would believe Woody, or Woody wouldn't believe anybody and all that, you know. Because Woody was actually trying to tell him, hey, look, Andy didn't want to throw you away. He was going to put you in the attic. You know, so it's just a great film. And like I said, at the end, when the torch, if you will, is passed to the new generation, and that and that one chapter of the Toys' lives is over, and we see the ending of one chapter in the Toys' lives over, and the opening of a new one, it just brings out all sorts of possibilities. I mean, we do find out that some of the toys that we had seen in the previous films are gone. You know, they even mention it. You know, Wheezy, I guess, got bought. Bo Peep got bought all in a yard sale and stuff like that. So, and I love. One thing I did like is I like kind of that sadness when Rex mentions Bo Peep, and you kind of see the sadness on Woody's face, like, yeah, you know, when he says, yeah, even Bo. Because if anybody knows, Bo Peep was his love interest, was Woody's love interest, his girlfriend. And, you know, you kind of see that sadness in his face because now all of a sudden you realize she's not with them anymore because she got bought in a yard sale. But overall, it's just a great film. I mean, I can't say enough about it. The one thing I did like is even though we got introduced to her, or even though she was introduced in the series in the second one, but just as a tour guide, if you will, the Barbie that we saw in the third one was really well developed. It's like, yeah, she's a different Barbie than what we saw in the second one, but really well developed. And Jodie Benson did a great job with her. And oh man, some of the best scenes. Like, one of the best scenes I like is when she's basically, I mean, the thing with her and Ken. You know, when she finally gets Ken to spill the beans on what happened to Buzz, or what Lotso did to Buzz. I mean, just great. I mean, she basically baits him in to do an posing of all these clothes he has. And when he comes out in his karate outfit, you know, she's nowhere to be found. And all of a sudden, here she comes right out of nowhere, jumps on top of him, and basically gets right in his face, saying, "Hey, you better tell me." Basically threatening him, saying, "You better tell me what happened." And at first, Ken is like, "I'm not gonna tell you." But I mean, just overall, and then the way she tortures him by just ripping up the clothes, and as soon as she gets up to the Nehru jacket, it's like Ken's like, "Oh no, you wouldn't dare." And she's starting to tear it, and that's what Ken. I mean, overall, it's just. I mean, that was just one of the best things I've seen. You know, and overall, it's just like I said, I can't say enough about this film. Just really, really funny. I mean, I love also how they developed the relationship now, I guess you can call it one, between Buzz and Jessie. Because you saw somewhat of an attraction at the end of the second film, so it was really well developed in this film. And I also like how, and also the ending, oh my gosh. You know, my mom, we watched this on Friday at my sister's because we were babysitting the kids, and my mom thought that at the end when they're in the incinerator that they were going to die. You know, she thought that, honestly, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you thought that, but that didn't happen. And like the director said in the commentary, when they get rescued by that claw, by those stuffed aliens, it's like everything comes full circle. So, but it's just a great film, and if you have not seen it yet, I suggest you go and see it. Or not go and see it, but at least rent it. And if you have an HD television, watch it on HD big screen, because it is worth it. I'm telling you honestly. Excuse me for a second. Okay. But again, honestly, I would definitely watch it like that. I mean, it's tremendous. I mean, you can watch it anywhere. You can watch it on a small TV or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still a great film. You can't deny that. I definitely give it a 10 out of 10, no doubt about it, as far as animated films go. I mean, it's got everything. It's got the whole package, if you will. And it does kind of make you a little misty-eyed at the end, because the toy, basically, like I said, you get this one chapter in their lives being shut, or being over. Basically, it's the door to one chapter being shut and being closed, and the other door to a new chapter being opened. So it's just a great film, and I really, really recommend you seeing it. If you have not seen it yet, rent the movie. Do it. Find a way to watch it. You know, rent it. Go to a site, download it if you want to. Just enjoy this film. It's a great, great film. I mean, nothing more can be said about it. And, you know, I would not be surprised if down the line, you know, we're going to get all these animated shorts with all these Pixar films and Disney films and all that. It's cool. But I would not be surprised down the line that if we get one more film. I would not be surprised. I mean, look at Indiana Jones. Everyone thought that his 3 movies back in the 80s and early 90s were the last ones. What happened? He gets one more. 3 years ago, he got one more. So I would not be surprised if Toy Story 4 ends up being developed. I would not be surprised by that. Because come on, you gotta. I mean, everybody's gonna want to know what her life's gonna be like. What, you know, how the toys are gonna interact with Bonnie's life. So we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out with these shorts, but we could also find out if they did a movie. I mean, that would be tremendous. And you know what? If I was looking at Pixar and all that, I would love to do something like probably a follow-up, maybe a direct-to-video DVD deal, where we have the villains, if you will, of the last 2 films, Stinky Pete and Lotso, kind of finding each other, teaming up, and trying to hopefully get revenge, if you will, on the toys on Woody and Buzz and all the other toys for what they did. Now I know you're saying, oh, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because last time we saw Lotso, he was tied to a truck, and we all see what happens to toys that get tied to trucks. They deteriorate. And Stinky Pete, he was with a girl in who knows where, you know. But that would be something I'd like to see, something like that. But again, I would not be surprised if we get one more film out of the series, just one more. I just feel that's going to happen. But overall, definitely 10 out of 10, and 10 stars, 100 stars, whatever you want it, definitely worth the watch. Go rent it, buy it, whatever, however you can, see it. If it's at the dollar theaters, wherever town you live in, go see it on the big screen one last time. But just watch this film. It's tremendous. It's worth it. And that's all I have to say about it. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out. Go watch it. It's one of the best.